There we go. We're live.
Message me if it's something you need to say. Let's see here. We are live. Let's go ahead and get this up.
Boom. Well, I need to move some things around.
There we go.
Too many windows. There we go. Oh, God, I hear myself talking.
Isn't it weird how you have a voice in your head for yourself, and then when you hear it played back to you,
it's awful.
It's awful.
My voice is like naturally super nasally, so I sound like I'm talking like this.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, Sheila. Good morning.
Hey, Tim, come on, tell us how many books you put up yesterday.
Let's see here. When are you cutting off your dreads, Neil?
I don't know, man. They're getting long. Probably soon. They're getting real long.
We're live streaming it.
It's been like 8 or 9 years. It's been a while.
It fits Boulder.
It does fit Boulder. I will not lie about that. Teresa, Jessica, Mari, Sheila, Angie, hello, good morning.
You are all awesome. That's my thing, you know.
Melissa, Salma, hello.
Welcome, Debbie. We'll give people a couple minutes to get in here.
They were on about 30 minutes ago. Quite a few people.
Good day from the future in Singapore.
From the future.
Huda, did you see my response to you on how to get that interior?
Good morning.
Britt, Larry, Maria, Huda.
If Britt could be a full-time seller, she's actually in college, I believe. If she was a full-time KDP seller, she would probably crush it, because I know over last summer when she focused on KDP, she was crushing it, and then she had to go back to school and couldn't focus on it as much. But Jacob, stay away from the haircut phrase. It triggers me.
Good old Steve.
Yep, Steve has long hair.
Hey, Steve, do you have a KDP account?
Yes, he does. He does some Pinterest marketing. I know that much. He actually listened to me whenever I put that Pinterest stuff out forever ago. It works.
Where did you put that out at?
It's on Merch Informer. The Pinterest guides for just marketing in general. It's
on YouTube.
It's free. Yeah, it's completely free to use Pinterest. Now, I hate Pinterest. Okay, I don't like to go on there and look at 48 pictures of, the cutest outfits for blah blah blah. But all right, for the millions and millions and millions and millions of people that do use it, they buy from it. So I force myself to use it, and it does work.
There has to be about a minute delay here, if I had to guess.
Yeah, there is a delay. I mean, I see myself talking on the other screen.
There's at least a minute.
Maybe I'll just refresh, see if that helps.
For those of you coming on, I'm going skydiving tonight. Pretty excited. I got to announce that.
Barton jumps out of planes, and I keep my feet on the ground.
Yep.
Two different types of people, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't jump out of the thing. Not my type of thing.
Good morning.
We had someone on yesterday from the UK in a tiny island, they said, just off of...
Isle of Wight.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep, Margaret. All righty. Let's... As long as you don't bounce.
Oh my gosh.
Did a refresh help? Because it is still very...
No, it's pretty behind. Tim, how's the golf game, Jacob? Not good. I haven't gone this week, but last week I went once or twice, and I did not do so well, and it really aggravates me.
Boring.
I agree.
I
would not do a golf interior because that is not my thing.
Golf is boring. Sorry,
It's fun.
Jacob. Sorry,
It's
I'm
fun,
just being honest.
Depends how many beers you have.
That's fair. That's fair.
Also, who you go with is a big thing too.
The driving range I can see, just Happy Gilmore style.
I think your head is getting in the way. Yeah, most certainly. Because if I don't hit well, then I get mad, and then I get mad, and I'm not hit. Yeah, it's a vicious cycle. Jacob, yawning better. Get a yawning notebook, 6x9, handy.
All right, guys, we're gonna start in just a few. We're just giving everyone a chance to hop on, so don't think we're just gonna talk about how boring golf is for an hour.
For those of you coming on, tell us how many books you uploaded yesterday. That's your challenge every day.
How we go from jumping out of planes to golfing.
Well, one is exhilarating and something I don't do, and the other is boring and something I also don't do. So I guess that's the common denominator.
So if you had to go play a sport, what would it be?
Soccer. Or ultimate frisbee.
Ultimate frisbee is fun. That is a lot of fun.
Ultimate
But
or soccer? Yeah.
No way I am playing soccer. To run down the field one way. Oh, we didn't make it. Let's run back down the field the other way. No.
There's no breaks. There's no break, so it's constant action.
You know how winded I'm gonna be?
Well, Jacob, you gotta start.
We are actually going to dive in to finding ideas, finding books, evaluating a niche, and trying to, find something that works. Now, understand, we don't have any of this planned, okay? So you're going to see real research, and you are going to understand that we will probably come to a lot of dead ends today. That happens. That happens a lot when you are researching. So we could have easily pulled a few niches, together and said, okay, these are the three we're focusing on today. Let's just show them what a perfect niche looks like. Well, that's not going to happen when you guys are doing it. So we wanted to make sure that we didn't do that, because it'll make it seem like it's a lot easier than it might be, which once you've done this for a while does become a lot easier. But this is going to be real live from the start. So Neil, you want to kick us off here?
Hey, before we kick it off, let me just that for those of you that didn't see, the free interior is up. You will have to go through the checkout process, but it's there for you. Go get it. Okay, now.
All right, so should I share my screen and we can just hop over and just start fiddling around with some of this stuff?
Let's go for it.
All right, let's see if I can do this. It's been a while since I used StreamYard, so give me one moment. Share screen. I need to share this one. Here, let me hold on. I'm gonna move it over here. I'm gonna share screen. All right, can you guys see the screen?
No.
Jacob, you have to add it. It shows up as another. There we go. Okay. So the first thing I usually do, and the first thing you guys should probably do, is head over to Amazon. We just need to get an idea of what is out there, what we're looking for, what to look for, and kind of just see what is selling, what buyers on the other side of the screen actually want. But we need an idea to start off with. So I'm going to type an idea, and I want you guys to enter in some ideas in the chat that we'll take a look at. But most of us probably just paid taxes. So let's go ahead and look at that. And remember, we're looking for low content books. I mean, if I just typed in, tax book, chances are we're going to see stuff like this, right? Tax savvy for small businesses. This is a sponsored product. Every landlord's tax deduction guide. Like, these are going to be long form books. Okay, that's why they're $20. What we're looking for is specifically low content books. So, journals, trackers, log books, anything under the sun that you can think of. So let's pick one of those. Instead of putting in tax book, Jacob, what should we use?
Tax logbook.
Tax logbook. Okay.
You might want to even look at 2020 to niche it down a little bit more.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But first, I want to point out that I don't actually change this to books right away because I want to see everything that's on Amazon. Like, Amazon a lot of the times will miscategorize stuff. I've seen that a million times. You'll have a book like in, pet supplies, for example. Some of that stuff usually gets fixed. But I look at all, not just books, because I want to see everything that is out there. Okay, let's go over what I actually look for in a listing, and then we'll actually start niching down like Jacob suggested and go from there. So let's find a logbook first of all. This looks like a logbook. Mileage log for taxes. Good cover, 35 reviews, so we know it's selling, decent price. So the first thing I'm going to look at before I even click on any listings is this right here. Okay, in the upper left-hand corner, it's going to tell you how many products are on Amazon. It says over 3,000. Now, keep in mind, if you guys scroll down to the very bottom and click on, like the third or fourth page, this number may change. Okay, so don't automatically take that as this is how many products are on Amazon. So it might change. Let's go back, oh my gosh, to the front page here. This is the first thing I look at. Now, once we niche down, I don't know about you, Jacob, or you, Barton, but I basically look for anything under 1,000.
1,000.
I look for anything under 1,000, but it also has to have some other requirements, which we'll get into in a second here. But anything under 1,000 is typically a good niche to get into where you're not competing with 10,000 other people. A lot of the times you might see like the number might say like 678, and you go through and you start to realize to yourself, wait a minute, not all of these are low content books, and not all of these are actually relevant to the search term. That happens a lot too. So let's find that book right here, mileage log for taxes. We'll open it up. So the first thing I look at right here, we just went over that. I'm looking for anything under 1,000. Now this isn't under 1,000 yet. We're going to niche it down, but I want to show you a low content book, which this looks like it is. I have like way too many extensions installed. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're all familiar with this page, right? This is Amazon. This is a low content book. 3 things I'm looking for right here. One is the ratings or the reviews. This one has some. A lot of the times you're doing research, you're not going to see any ratings or reviews if they're new books or if they haven't been selling a lot of copies. So 35 ratings, that's good. Okay, I'm going to look at the price because typically for a low content book, you're going to be seeing prices between, say, $6 and I'd say $9. Anywhere in between that price is a pretty good judge of its middle of the road. And then I'm going to be looking at the look inside. Okay, that's probably what everyone's going to start with. Because one, you're going to judge the book by its cover, like I talked about on day one. And then you're going to look inside and say, wow, that is, anyone could make that cover. Okay, very simple. But simple sells as long as people can read it. Everyone can read that, so good cover. Scroll down, take a look at the actual interior. Now, I'm not going to say to myself, wow, look at this. I'm going to instantly copy it. I'm looking for what this book has included so that I can include the same stuff in other niches I go into. First thing I see is this right here, an intro page. I cannot tell you how important intro pages are. You're going to see a ton of different layouts for intro pages, but it makes it so the entire book actually has a little bit of a customized feel. They don't have to be very complicated. A lot of the times it's just going to be this book belongs to, maybe an outline. This one looks like has some contact information so that the customer, the person on the other end of the screen, can actually fill this stuff out. Okay? So depending on what niche you go into, I would always recommend, creating one of these cover pages. You can do one for a coloring book. You can do one for a logbook. You can do one for a tracker. Anything under the sun, make one of these. Okay? I'm telling you guys, this is going to help your sales. And then I just take a look at the interior. Very simple, but it looks great. Okay? It's very, there's nothing too complicated about this. Anyone could buy this logbook and instantly start filling it out and know exactly what this stuff is for. Okay? So it looks like that's the entire book. So that's the first thing I look at. But then I always do this. I always scroll to the bottom and I look at the product details box. Okay? This is going to tell you all the information you pretty much need to know about this book right here. It's going to tell you how long the book is. Okay? It's 111 pages, which means they probably had a 110-page interior and they tacked on that intro page we talked about. 100 to 120, I'd say, is the average low-content book. Now, that's not to say you can't do less or can't do more. That's just what I've seen people do most often. You're going to see the publisher. Okay, pay attention to this. Independently published. This is KDP. Okay? You might see CreateSpace here. That's also KDP. Means that someone else is publishing these books through Amazon. You're going to see reviews. Okay, we're going to take a look at that in 1 second because I think those are very, very important. But we're also going to see this nice little box that says Amazon bestsellers rank 68,169 in books. Okay, so anything under a couple 100,000, especially in books, doing very, very well. This is under 70,000. So this book is making money. That's what you want to take away from it. You don't want to take away, oh, it's making X number of sales. Oh, it's doing this. I see 35 reviews and I see it's selling and making money. Like, that is what you want to take away from this. So finally, before I let someone else talk here, I look at customer ratings. Okay. So why do you look at customer ratings? Because customer ratings are super, super helpful, because typically the people that leave bad ratings, those are the ones we're going to take a look at, are the people who are pissed off and have really good suggestions about things you can change in your own version of the book. So I don't know if this one has any. I literally just clicked on this. No 2 stars, no 1 stars. We'll see if 3 stars. No.
That's pretty surprising once you hit, 20, 30 plus reviews too.
It is. I mean, so basically what I'll do is I'll go and I'll look at the 1-star reviews where someone's like, well, wow, the way this was laid out was super confusing. Or the way, I hated how it was misspelled on the front page. And all of a sudden I go, well, wait a minute. If I'm going to do that, if I'm going to go into a niche, for example, a mileage logbook, maybe I should lay out my interior differently. Maybe I should change the orientation, and maybe I should spell things correctly. And just those tiny little changes are going to make sure that when you are selling, your reviews are good and you start climbing up the ranks. So anything to add to that, Jacob or Barton?
No, I think you just hit the nail on the head pretty well right there.
We have 3 or 4 requests here. If we wanted to go down some other holes, there's bowling, craft beer, and dogs.
All right, let's go back. Let's do craft beer. Because off the top of my head, I can't think of any. I'm not a bowler either, so I can't think of any low content. But we could do craft beer tasting book. Let's go with that and see if we can find anything. Okay, so what's the first thing we look at? Upper left-hand corner, 116 out of 105 results. Now, this is, I literally just made this up. I don't know if a craft beer tasting book or maybe let's do tasting log. All right, there we go. Okay, 2,000 results. But here's a sponsored ad. Okay, let's take a look at the sponsored ad because this is a good cover. It's big. I know exactly what it is. It's selling in the price range we want. No reviews. All right, so Mr. Joseph Varnador, we're going to take a look at your product. So sorry if you're watching this.
We just costed you for clicking on your ad.
Yeah. Okay, so, man, I got to turn these extensions off another window. Okay, first thing we're going to look at, right? No reviews. So we'll skip that. $7.99, awesome price. They're going to make money when this sells. Look inside. Okay, let's look inside. This is a good cover. Good covers don't need to be complicated. They need to be readable and tell the customer exactly what they're buying. Now, this is literally part of the research process. It's not all about finding, oh, what sells the most? What sells the most? Like, we need to take bits and pieces from successful books. Now, I have no idea if this is a successful book yet, and then piece them together in our own niches we're going into. So big and bold. I love it. Scroll down. Is this supposed to be a tap or a beer glass?
Both.
Both? Okay. Unsure. This is a little bit unnecessary.
I would not put that on that page.
I wouldn't either. I mean, I would do a cover page. They did a cover page with literally no words or explanations. Maybe this is their brand. I don't know. And we get to the interior. Okay, we have a beer index.
And here, stop right anywhere real quick.
Yeah.
One thing I want to point out is I used to do this all the time with interiors, especially when I was making them. Do not use bold fonts, especially on a 6x9 notebook. They look really, really weird in person. They might look okay here, but then once you actually get them in person, it's like, okay, that is really dark and really, really bright on my eyes almost, because it just bold does not necessarily always look good. I know it might look good on screen when you're designing, like, okay, this makes it look nice and bold, clean, but once you actually get it in person, it's like, ooh, I don't know about this. Some fonts you can do bold with, most certainly, but I've noticed a lot of fonts do not look the best with bold.
I'm noticing that beer cup is also on some other pages. I would suggest that someone went and grabbed this interior or had an interior made for them that was intended to be the cover, and they created their own better cover, but neglected to take that page off.
Could be. But that's a really good point about the bold text. I mean, I don't know where it is, but I have a book that with bold text and it's smaller and it doesn't look the best. All right, so let's just keep walking our way through this. Excuse me, so you guys can get an idea of kind of like what we're looking for. Right now, we're not niching down anything. We're literally just looking at big, broad niches and seeing, do people spend money here and why? Okay, so we're going through and it looks like they have a beer index. Now, right off the bat, I have no idea what a beer index is. They could have done a better job explaining this, like beers that I've tasted in the last month, beers that I've tasted this year. Nope, beer index with a bunch of numbers. So that's a little bit confusing until we get down here and we realize, okay, you can fill out the beer name, the brewery, the location. So this part I really like. I mean, it is way too bold. I probably would not do that. But very simple, clean interior other than that, with some stats and overall ratings. Okay, so that's pretty much what that is. And all they did for the back cover, you guys don't have to do this. I probably wouldn't, is just copy and paste a picture of the interior. So
and at that, it's massive. So, like, if you look at some coloring books or activity books or even some, like, low-content journals, planners, and things, you'll notice they'll have – do I have an example here I can show? I'm not sure. I've been cleaning out my closet. So, no, I do not have one laying around here. But you'll notice they have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 small images on the back cover to kind of showcase what they are doing inside. Not the entire back cover.
Yeah, and not the entire back cover that's literally an image of the interior, right? Like, at least with coloring books, when they do that and they put like 3 or 4 images, a lot of the times I'll notice that the images have been digitally colored so that the user can kind of see in their mind what it'll look like when they're done with their work of art. This not the greatest.
Yeah, I would not recommend.
Let's so okay, we've taken a look at a few things. We noticed, okay, no reviews. That's totally fine. It was published in January. Okay, we looked inside. The interior wasn't too bad. It had a few things I'd probably change. Great cover. All right. I literally don't really pay attention to this. I pay attention to the price, the reviews, the cover, and then I scroll down to my favorite box ever, the product details. Okay. So we'll see independently published, 104 pages. That's all good. Okay, 6x9, so we know exactly what dimensions this is in, just like Jacob was talking about. And we see this bestsellers rank here. It's 3.35 million. So yes, this person isn't making a ton of money yet, but they are running sponsored ads. So right off the bat, I probably would not create this interior unless we can find a keyword that is selling better to target. Okay? So
let's take a look at another niche here. Student driver logbook, if you want to type that in.
All right, let's see. Student driver logbook. Now, okay, here's something to maybe consider, okay? Student driver, I've seen people do logbook as one word. I've seen people do logbook as 2 words. I think Amazon is smart enough for people to figure out that log space book and logbook as one word are the same thing. But just keep that in mind when you are searching. So the first thing we look at, okay, I've not even looked at this niche before. I like it right away, okay, because I see 164 results, and the first thing I see in these results is I see some reviews. All right, that's literally all I looked at. Okay, 164 results. This is really good because remember we're searching in all, and we're not searching in books or any specific category. I'm going to scroll down. We're going to ignore this sponsored listing for now. I'm going to take a look at this one. Okay, student driver logbook, driving mode, off and on. All right, let's open this one up. Great cover, by the way. That's the first thing. I mean, it's huge. I can read it. Without, because this is what a customer would usually do. They'd enter this in and they go, okay, like, what can I get here? And now that I'm looking at these results, these are terrible. What does Top Gun have to do with a driving logbook?
Well, here's the thing is you might see 164 results, I think it was. So yep. you are technically competing for, your page position and your rank position against 164 other products. But when you start scrolling down a little, you will quickly notice you're not actually competing with 164 products. And I think that's the thing a lot of people miss is like, what does the trail drivers of Texas have to do with this or twinkle, twinkle, little car. Okay. So sure, there might be showing 164 results, but from the looks of it, there is only 3 or 4 that are actually up, 3 or 4 in competition here with what we're actually looking for.
Okay. So very, very true. I mean, we should probably touch on that again in a second because everyone, I mean, a lot of the times you're going to see, at least I've experienced this, people come and they're like, okay, I did a search for this. It has 3,000 results. I can't ever compete with this. And then I look through the results and I'm like, well, 90% of them are high content books. They're not super relevant to the keyword. So remember, we're looking for stuff that's relevant to these keywords. Okay. So let's take a look at this book, and then I want to come back to this keyword here. So here's the book, okay, Student Driver Logbook. Remember, we're going to look at a few things. Rating, 1 rating. We'll look at that in a second. $6.99. All right, so that is middle of the road. That's what I like to see. We're going to look inside in this interior. Awesome cover. Right off the bat, I like it. It's huge. It's readable. Student Driver Logbook, name, phone number, and notes. All right, this looks like a cover page to me. Clean. Simple. Doesn't have a ginormous beer mug there that makes no sense. You know exactly what it is. It tells you. Student driver logbook with some information here. Okay. Scroll down. So this was a cover page. I was right. So simple cover page, right? It breaks your book up a little bit, makes it a little bit more personal because the user is going to be writing their name in here. And then you get to the actual logbook, date, time started, time finished, skills practiced, weather conditions. So all these things are very, very good. I actually had a neighbor that used to do like driver's ed, right? He did this in an actual notebook that was smaller than a 6x9. You could barely read it. So something like this would definitely be helpful for him. But this is the interior, right? Same thing over and over again, but it's broken up a little bit with this right here. Okay. So I love everything about this so far. 1 rating. We're going to get to that in just a second. Let's look at the product details. Okay. 100 pages. Very standard. Independently published. KDP. 6x9. Again, very standard. 1 one review here and a 450K BSR. So yes, this is selling. Okay, that's what I like to see. Not a very complicated book, and it has 1 rating. So let's take a look and see if anyone. No, they didn't. So you can leave like 5-star ratings without actually typing anything. But this right here, right off the bat, student driver essentials. I'm sorry, but this is a good niche. Okay. So we'll come back here and we will take a look at this keyword again. I like the niche, right? I see some sales here, but typically I like to see some other books selling in the niche, not just one person. So we'll take a look at this driver's ed logbook. Okay, this cover is even more simple, but I don't hate it because I can read what it is. It doesn't need to be complicated. Okay, you don't need superior artwork when you're looking for a driver's ed logbook. This is a pretty good interior too. Okay,
They skipped cover page.
They did skip a cover page. Okay, so this person's putting in less work. All they did was take the same interior and do it over and over again. But things to take away are, notice how this interior is laid out different than the other. You can pick the different, if you like this little box, okay, but you really hate how the date and weather are too close together, maybe you can take, other things that you've seen in other interiors and make a little box out of them. That's really what we're looking for here is like, what do they do that would be beneficial or look great to a customer? All right, so, $7.99, all right, but really what I'm looking for is this product details box. Now, I saw someone in the comments asking if it's bad if you don't have reviews, all right? No, like most of your stuff is not going to have reviews, especially if you're not selling a ton of that single product.
I will be real quick here. I'll be completely honest. I've probably ordered thousands of things from Amazon.
Oh, I've never left a review.
I don't think I've ever left a review. I think I might have once on something like a charging cable for my iPhone. It didn't work at all, and I was mad because I needed one.
Right, but what did you just say? You left a review because you were mad. Like that's why reviews are so helpful, especially the 3 stars and below, is because they actually give like really critical feedback for those books. The customers are telling you what they want and what they don't want in that case.
Mm-hmm.
So super, super helpful. But this one, guys, it's 75 pages, so it's shorter. It's independently published. It's 6x9, so same dimensions. 656,000 in books. Okay, so yeah, you're not gonna retire tomorrow on a 656,000 BSR book, but this tells me right away that hey, this is another book in this same niche right here that is selling. So that's really good news. All of a sudden I go, okay, it's not going to take me that much effort to put together a better version of these books that has a different interior. Okay, we're not copying everyone's interiors here, and a different cover. Now, it's going to be hard to make a cover that stands out as well as this one. I like this cover. This one's a little less so, but it's still selling. Okay, so we have multiple products in the same niche that are selling. That's what we want to take away from this here. Lily, what seller rank are you looking for? I'm basically looking for a sales rank, okay, that one, well, the first thing I'm looking for is not a sales rank, is I'm looking for the number of results. Because if I can see a small number of results, which means I don't have to compete with that many people, I don't need to sell that many, right? Like I can put one up, and if it gets a sale a month, I'm happy as a clam. But for sales ranks, Jacob, what are you looking for? Because I have my own criteria.
My general rule of thumb for a very long time, this actually came from sourcing books for FBA, was 1.5 to 2 million and under. That's kind of like a happy place to be. You're probably going to move a book within 30 days within that sales rank, give or take a little, obviously. But, a 1.5 million, that was our general rule of thumb when sourcing books. And I've kind of stuck to that over the years. Sometimes I'll go a little higher. Sometimes I'll go a little lower. There's variables like how much competition is there? If you're competing against 999 people and only 3 of the books are, ranked at 1.5 million, I'm probably not going to go into it.
Yeah. I mean, my general rule of thumb is I typically stay, under 1 million, better yet, under 800,000.
Oh, trust me, that's fantastic.
But that's also, I mean, you have to think that, BSR or best sellers rank on Amazon, it's fluid. So it's always going to change depending on how other people in the same category are selling, right? So like, think about books as an entire category, right? Millions and millions and millions of books. If all of the books did not sell, didn't have a single sale, no one ever bought them, and you had one book that made one sale, that one book would be BSR of 1. It would be the best seller. Okay, so it's going to depend on how everyone else in the same category is selling. So it's going to go up, it's going to go down. The numbers are going to represent different amount of sales in high peak seasons like Q4, going to represent a different amount in other seasons. So just something to keep in mind. Jacob or Barton, are you guys playing Pac-Man in the background? What does that sound?
Barton's camera keeps turning on and off, so he's trying to figure out why. Let's see here. Dwight, should you click the Prime button? Will that get rid of some irrelevant competition? No, I usually don't, because the average person doesn't always click Prime. And even if you click Prime, it's not going to, like Neil, hit Prime up there on the top left.
Right here, Prime.
And then if we scroll down, okay, this brings back totally different results. Not even bringing back the results that were...
See, this is what I'm talking about. Amazon sometimes indexes things wrong. No results for student driver logbook in automotive.
Look at the category you're in.
Why am I in automotive? See, that's what I don't understand. Amazon sometimes changes stuff like that. Like, okay, automotive parts and accessories. Why? See, this is why I look at all, because I don't have to deal with this type of stuff.
But no, I usually don't, because you're still going to have to compete with those people for where you're going to rank. Why is black, red car and title? That is actually in the subtitle. Yes, that's in the subtitle. So they just put it in there as, hopefully some other keywords people are, going to look for. Here's another one, the one with the rainbow background, Neil. So that's why that's in there. Yeah,
same author. So notice here, right? So this is a really good. Oh my gosh, let me close some of this stuff out. So, okay, what do you notice right away between this book and this book? They were published on the same day. They're the same price. They're the same review. And this is when we looked in books. Okay, so you might see, there's 599 results. That went way up from when we were looking before in all. But most people go to Amazon.com, okay? They go right here, and they type a keyword in. They don't go here and they go, well, I want to search in CDs and vinyls. No, they go to Amazon and they type in, book title here, and then they hit enter. So what Amazon basically did is they were smart enough to go, well, wait a minute here. This book and this book are published by the same author on the same day, and it's pretty much the same book. Well, we're only going to show a single one, right? So that's why when you go to Amazon All and you search for this same thing, you're going to see less results. Is because Amazon is deciding for you, the customer, that, hey, you don't need to see the same book over and over and over and over again, which just goes back to what we were talking about on the first day, right? We're talking about how, if you put up some books, everyone was freaking out about, Amazon's going to suppress books. They're not going to if you have unique books, but if you publish the same exact book with a different cover, then yes, they're probably going to
go back to the other listing, the red car one listing, but then click on it from all.
This one?
Okay, click see all formats and editions right under the rating. Okay, it's only showing the one here. Okay, I just wasn't sure if it was going to piggyback those together because they literally have...
Yeah, I mean, if we look inside, I bet it's the same. Yep, so same exact cover. It's the same book, guys. There's no reason for Amazon to show two different books in the search results. And think about it from a customer's point of view, right? If they get a book and it's got a different cover, but you open it up and it's the same exact book and you thought it was going to be something different, Amazon wants more products, more unique products to show up, which is why they do that. So same book, just this kind of a random tangent here. One, I don't look in books. I think you guys just saw why. Kind of annoying. I search in all. And so student driver logbook, excellent niche. I'm glad someone brought that up, but let's just do student driver book. Okay. If I could type here. Over 1,000 results, tons of these. Now look, what do you notice? A low content book is ranking for the large keyword, okay? But they probably are ranking for this big keyword. Why? Because they started getting sales on the longer tail keyword. So that's how you start your research, right? You start with the giant niche. So in this niche, student driver. Typically, when I'm just beginning, I'll throw in book and I'll hit enter and I'll look at these results and go, okay, this is a big niche. I see over 1,000 results. Okay, that's a lot. I usually like to keep it under 1,000. So then your job is making sure that the keyword is longer tail. And by long tail keyword, all I mean is that it's searched for a little bit less and it's more specific. All right. So if you think about a student driver, you have log books. What else do you have, Jacob? I'm blanking here.
There's so many different things you can do. Logbooks, trackers. I mean, there's just so many different ways that you can approach a book title.
Student driver mileage. I think I spelled that right. Mileage tracker. Notice how that's hyper specific. We took student drivers, this big niche. We made it more specific. Student driver mileage. Okay. Tracker. Okay. And we're going to hit enter. 31 results. So that might be almost too specific. Very, very, very specific. But that's the strategy you guys need to take away from this, is that you're taking a big niche. Okay. So you could do any, let's just do here, coloring book. Over 50,000 results. Okay. So let's just do rainforest coloring book. Did I spell that right? I don't know. Okay, we took a giant niche and all we did was add a modifier to it to just a specific place, the rainforest. 319 results. From a 50,000 plus book niche, bam, we just shrunk it down into a tiny niche that is what looks to be profitable. All right, all these have reviews, all they look really good. So that's what you guys need to take away from this, is that you're starting with an idea, a big idea, and you're making it more and more specific until you find a keyword that will actually work for you guys.
You know, there was someone yesterday that pointed out that they had wanted to go for a niche because they were familiar with it, but it had very few to none books up and their ratings weren't very good, and there were people who were discouraging her from going into that niche. She did it anyway because she understood the niche, and now she's one of the primary sellers in that category, and she's selling well. So just because you can't find it on the big picture, once you niche down like Neil's showing you here, you if it's not there, then go ahead and create it because it needs to be there.
All righty, let's see here. You want to switch gears a little bit here, Neil, and move on to your first tab or second tab you have open there?
Yeah, okay. So this is basically what I used to do for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours a day. It's boring. It's extremely boring because what I do is I go through exactly what I'm just showing you guys here, and I would throw it in a spreadsheet. Okay, and hundreds, thousands of lines. Which is why we created the BookBolt software for you guys. I have a link, so don't go sign up right now, but I'm going to run through exactly how I'm going to find profitable niches, okay, that we can take a look at inside of a software solution instead of just sitting here and coming up with random stuff off the top of your head. Because coming up with random stuff works great, all right? But eventually you're going to run out of ideas. Like I remember when I first got started in print on demand, I'd be like looking at my desk and I'd be like, well, what can I type in? Oh, I see a knife. Okay, knife t-shirt or knife book or stuff like that. You hit a wall at some point, right? So bookbolt.io, you guys have probably gone there the other day to grab some free interiors or over to the Page Planet to grab some free interiors. But inside the actual software, okay, let me open up this tab. I have this over here. It's going to look like this. It's got a ton of different tools for listing your products. It's got tools for creating your covers because I am not a graphic artist. I can't create anything. But I can drag and drop and I can type and we'll probably go through that. Probably not today, Jacob. Let's just keep it to research today.
Yes.
But this is the inside of the software, and this is what I do. Okay, this is how I find niches to go into. I'm going to show you the 2 easiest ways I know of to come up with ideas. The first is going to be the cloud. Okay, so what the cloud search is going to allow you to do is basically a recreation of all of just the low content books. Okay, so a lot of the times when you're over here on Amazon and you type in, what were we looking at? Driver's logbook, something like that. You're going to see a lot of stuff like this, like $119. What? Right? Like this isn't a low content. I mean, it is kind of low content, but it's something you hang on the wall, I think, right? It says it's a low content 10-pack. You don't really want to be looking at this stuff because someone that's buying something that you hang on the wall, they're buying something to hang on the wall. They're not buying a book to put in their pocket or to put in their car. So you want to look at relevant things.
God, I don't think they are hanging a 8.5 by 11 book
it's
on the wall.
Okay, well, I just assumed that it was a wall.
It does
hanging.
look like that. It does most certainly look like that.
But you know what I'm looking at? Like someone buying a 6x9 or an 8x5x11 book, one, isn't going to be paying $120. Two, they're not. This is just a different buyer's mindset. This isn't really what we're competing with here. Okay, we're competing with low content books. So let's say you sit down, you have no idea, what's selling on Amazon. What should I even take a look at? So we have these search criterion here. I'm just going to keep it at the top 100. You have some categories over here: notebook, journals, music sheets. Okay, is a big one. Calendars is a big one, and planners. I'm just going to keep it in notebook. Price range, I want to look at everything. So what this is going to allow us to do, I'm not even going to fill in a keyword. Here's our BSR range. I'll say, hey, we're only looking at the top 100 books that are selling, and we'll click on search. Okay, we'll give you a few seconds to come back with the results here. And then I want to show you guys that, hey, even if you have no idea of what is actually selling, that's nice. You're going to come down here and you're going to see, all right, this is what customers on the other side of the computer are buying. We have a sketchbook with over 1,000 ratings. We have a graph paper composition book. We have a novelty book right here, okay? Handwriting practice paper, composition notebooks, handwriting. So what you're doing right here is you're literally just getting an idea of like, what do people want to buy? Okay, what do people want to buy? What are they buying? What price are they buying it with? Let's just take, where is that? Like this one right here, okay? 168 ratings. I'll go ahead and open it up here. All right. Awesome cover, okay? Awesome cover. It's priced at $4.99, so this is probably published quite a while ago. You have 2018. Probably not making too much money on it, but I bet you they're selling a ton of volume. Okay, so let's look inside. Wow. So complicated. Like you don't have to get crazy with your interiors. Like that is a book with over 100 reviews.
So here's a really good example. If you look at the cover, you can see all they did was take their interior and put it all the way across. But it still looks okay because it's the entire thing. It almost looks like a pattern. And then if you look at the back cover, they've done the same thing compared to that beer tasting one where it looked very, very awkward.
Yes, very true. But guys, what you should take away from this, one, is that people are buying handwriting practice paper. Okay. Two, very simple. Okay. All right. So 172 ratings. We're going to scroll down, remember, to the product details. 100 pages. Create space. There you go. That's why it's priced lower, guys. They had a different pricing structure. 8.5 by 11. And what do you see right there? It's under 4,000 BSR. So this thing is selling literally thousands of copies every single month. Okay, so it's doing incredibly well. But how well, right? Maybe someone just promoted this book. It got a ton of sales, and that BSR is going to go up to in the millions, right? I have no idea. So inside of BookBolt here, if you guys are following along, if you're not, that's fine. Just pay attention. We have this little button right here that's going to show you history. Okay, Why is history important? It shows you a product and how it's done over time, so that if you guys enter a niche, you're not going to enter a niche that just sold, a ton of copies and then falls off a cliff, never to be seen again. It's going to show you the price. Okay, so $4.99. They just hung out here and they went, well, you know what? I'm not making that much money at $4.99, and they bumped it up to $5.99. They added $1 to it. So this is also a way that you guys can figure out pricing strategies of people who know what they're doing. Okay, so when I'm usually talking about price and people are disagreeing with me and wanting to sell their books at $900 each, I just look at, I just get these ideas from people who are selling more products than I am. Like this book right here was selling incredibly well. So this is what happened. Look, this tells us the history of this book. The price was at $4.99. Down here we have the sales rank. Lower sales rank, more sales. Okay, that's all you need to know. They're ticking along at $4.99. Their sales rank is hovering in the thousands. Okay, so they're doing very, very well. And they think to themselves, you know what? I need to make some more money. So they raise their price up, and they're going to be watching their sales. And what happens to their BSR? It starts going up. It starts going up. May 13th, May 25th, down a little bit up. Where you didn't sell, up to 36. It sold a few, down to 21. Didn't sell. And they're up here at $5.99 as the price. And they go, well, wait a minute. If I lower my price, all of a sudden my book looks more attractive. They lowered their price back down to $4.99, and look at what happened to their sales rank. It went all the way down to on July 26th was the last time we updated this particular product, all the way from 52,000 to 5,000. So that just shows you, okay, this is what a bestseller did with their price. This is the strategy they used. It doesn't mean go out and do this book. It means maybe you want to play with that same strategy to see if you can get these same results. Okay? So very, very important. But let's actually take a look at that book, which I have way too many Amazon tabs open. Let me find it. Apparently it's the last one. Nope, it's not the last one either. It is. I'll just open it again. All right. Handwriting practice paper. Let's just take this keyword, right? We'll go to Amazon. We'll enter that in there. Over 2,000 results. So Jacob, Barton, let's actually niche this down to something that's that we can use. So
Barton,
any ideas?
You have kids.
Yes, we do not have kids over here, Barton. Ideas.
How to niche down with that?
Handwriting practice paper. What can we do to get fewer results and more specific?
You could do like cursive.
Love it. Let's let that curse. Is that how you spell cursive? Cursive. There you go. There you go. Awesome, Jacob. So
phonics as well.
What was that?
Phonics.
Is that a brand? I don't know if that's a brand or not.
I don't think so. It's a way of learning words, but I'm not sure that it would be in the books.
What?
PH.
Yeah, I know, but look at that. Oh, and they put an E in it. So Amazon. Let's just go back to these results. I like this result better. Cursive handwriting practice paper. So the first thing I see right off the bat, it's under 1,000 results. Okay, everything's good. Take a look at what is actually out there. Cursive practice paper, uploaded in 2019, $6.99. Right, this is a low content book. 13 reviews. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to start going through this fast. If you guys have questions, drop them in the comments. Not a lot in cursive because they're not teaching anymore. Steve, I have a question. If there's any teachers in here, I want to know, like, I hated cursive. I can barely write. That's why I type. But how are kids that don't learn cursive supposed to read the Declaration of Independence?
Do kids usually read that?
They should. It's important. So anyways, if any teachers could educate me on that, I'd love to know. But let's run through this. 13 ratings, $6.99. Okay. Look inside. 8.5 by 11. I like this interior, except I'd make this way bigger. But I see what they were trying to do, trying to fit it within the lines. All right. Cover page. Awesome.
I would almost make that text cursive there.
Yeah. Yes. Good
reinforce
point.
it into their head, into their mind.
Good point. Okay, and then you have here we go. And with this cursive practice, my name is cursive. All right, so simple, right? Is it selling? I don't know.
Boy, they're kind
here.
of go back to, hang on real quick. Go back to that page where they had all the different cursive letters on it. They're kind of not including everyone there because it stops it in.
and no one else.
What if it's I don't know, like Barton. Nope, you can't write your name because they don't show you how to put an R or an O on it. So just something.
It's a good point. It's a good, but even with silly things like that, under 100,000 in books. So like if we didn't have a software to tell us, hey, look up handwriting paper. As someone who literally doesn't write anything, I use a keyboard and mouse. I wouldn't have looked at this, right? So let's go back to BookBolt and keep looking, and I'll show you. Actually, you know what? Hold on. For those of you guys who like to research on Amazon, I do as well. If you get a BookBolt account, I'm going to drop you guys a special link here in a second. But I just want to show you one more feature here. If you go up to the right-hand corner to your name and you download something called KDP Spy, it's going to put a little book icon in your Chrome, okay? So if you come up here and you click that, it's going to open this up, and it's going to allow you to look at a few things on Amazon, okay? We're going to click Start. It's going to go through these results, pick all this stuff out, okay? I'm going to let it run for just a few here. We have over 50 results. We'll stop it. It's going to show you a few things, right? It's going to show you the ASIN. It's going to show you the cover, the title, the price, the sales rank, the ratings without actually scrolling through and clicking on these. But what I am looking for is a few things. One is going to be the publish date. Okay, so the newer stuff that's selling the best is stuff I usually look at, but also the estimated sales and the revenue here. Okay, so this one's selling about 30 a month. If we scroll down here, we can actually say, all right, let's look at the big sellers. These aren't all going to be low content books. Remember, we're looking on Amazon for this stuff, so you're not always going to see low content books. Pretty simple lettering. Clearly not a KDP book because it's got spirals. Okay, let's find the first KDP book. The Ultimate Guide to Modern Calligraphy. So we can click these. Let's go ahead and click this. Whoa. We'll open this up. It's a bestseller in typography. Oh my God, 2,300 ratings. Okay. Okay, this does have a publisher, but is it a low content book? Is this a niche maybe we could enter?
No.
And I don't know. Let's take a look. Does that look like a low content book? No, that looks like something I never want to do. So anyways, but look at this right here. Something like this could be included in your low content book. Okay, it shows you exactly how. Like I've seen this a lot where people will show the arrows of like where you're supposed to draw.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking ideas from this. Okay, let's go back. Let's find another one. Cursive handwriting book for kids. That's a long tail keyword, right? Long, hyper specific. Sorry. So what do you want to take away from this? First, let's open it up, take a look at it. $6.75. It's a bestseller in children's ESL books. Okay, awesome cover. Okay, they took a little bit extra effort, made something big. It stands out. 100 pages. I know it's for grades 2 through 5, but remember they're getting really specific here. Cursive handwriting workbook for kids, for beginners. Okay. 801 ratings.
Holy cow.
Published June 25th of last year. $6.75. So all of a sudden, I know this is going to be good. So we're going to scroll down. $3.50 in books. Okay? $3.50 in books.
Crushing it. They
are just dominating. And if we come back here and we look at, this is the book we were looking at. They're getting, so this, remember, this is the sales column here, estimated sales, estimated revenue. All right. 2,376 sales a month. Even if they're only earning $1 royalty, which I don't think they are. Yeah, 109 pages. So they're making money here. Okay, they're making literally thousands of dollars a month. That's what you guys want to take away from this. And you can just go through these results and see, all right, this is how successful sellers are laying out their covers. This is, if we take a look at this one's doing 14,000 in revenue. Okay, revenue isn't profit. We get paid a royalty, but keep that in mind. Open this up, take a look, trace letters of the alphabet, blah, blah, 2,000 ratings. 2,000. Okay, I like that. That is an excellent front page of a book. Okay, really, really clean, looks good, it's simple. And trace the letters. Okay, so this a book like this, I've seen a lot of variations of this type of stuff. It's going to take some time to make. Okay, this isn't something you throw up in 10 minutes, but it doesn't matter. Because even if you spend 3 hours on it, if you can have one book that's doing these kind of reviews and sales numbers, all right, let's scroll down and look at this one, 398. Like that one book is going to make more than people that have 100,000 books out.
Neil, I know that it's a question that's been asked a few times here. With FBA, we could reach out and try and get reviews, but with KDP, I'm not aware that we can.
Yeah, there's not really an easy way to do that. I mean, Amazon has what they'll do is once you've purchased anything, people have probably noticed this. Once you purchase something, they literally will send you an email that says, hey, like review your purchase. And that's why a lot of the times you're going to see, 5 stars, but no one wrote anything. But really, I mean, just being completely honest, the easiest way to get a bunch of reviews is just sell a lot of product because the amount of reviews people leave, it's extremely low. So reviews are only something that I take a look at to see how, kind of judge how well a book is doing. If I see 2,000 reviews, I know that this book has sold tens of thousands of copies in order to get those, probably like 100,000 plus. The review rate is very, very, very low. So let's actually just stick with this handwriting workbook. Okay, so let's just say handwriting workbook. And I'm going to show you guys in this plugin something else you can do. Let's go to the keywords tab and let this come back. And it's going to tell you, 1, a bunch of different long tail keywords that you can use. But 2, it's going to tell you how many searches these things get on Amazon. Like cursive handwriting workbook gets a ton of searches, but we don't want to be competing with everyone. So look, like long tail keywords aren't that hard to find. Okay, scrolling through here, handwriting practice books for kids 5th grade. Like we'll scroll way down here. Learn cursive handwriting workbook for kids. Super, super long tail. I bet if we click this, so this is in books. I don't know why it's in books. Let's go back here. Search for this. 454 results. All right. You're not competing against that many people. You can look at these results and go, wow, these are actually really well put together and they look awesome. Like, look at this cover. Okay. I like this. Super clean. And it actually looks like a student resource that a teacher would use. Like, especially if you're going into anything like teacher related, if you have something like this, it actually looks like, a kid's school book. We've all been to school. We all know what they look like. Or you could just have like a giant letter A on the front and it looks super amateurish. So something else to keep in mind.
Patty says this is something I think we should touch on here. How does Amazon use reviews? Directly related to BSR, or does sales matter more? So reviews do not correlate to your BSR. Okay, a book so if you find a book that never has that does not have a BSR, that means it has never sold. Okay, you don't just magically get a BSR one day. If you have some type of BSR, then it has sold at some point. Now, obviously, 1 is the best BSR you can get, and you can go up to, I don't know, I've seen things in the 20 millions before, probably higher. So there is that. And then the more your book sells and the more frequently it sells, the closer to 1 that BSR gets. But then it stops selling. A few hours later, you'll notice that your BSR goes back up. Now, BSR isn't automatic. It updates every few hours. Sometimes it takes a little longer. Sometimes it takes a little less. But the more often it's selling and the more copies selling, it will get closer to 1. And then the moment there's a break period, a larger break period, less copies start selling, it will climb a little. Every time you make a sale, though, it'll drop. And then when there's a period with no sales, it'll bump back up, bump back up. And that's why on that chart Neil was showing earlier, where with the price correlation, if you want to pull that back up here.
Right here.
Okay, so you can see when you see the spike up, that means there was a period of either less sales, something is out selling it now, and it's taking over that BSR, or it hasn't sold in X amount of time. Okay. And then you can see when it drops back off, that means sales are starting to rock and roll and coming in, hot at this point, especially at a BSR. At that point, sales are coming in hot.
In terms of reviews, Jacob, like the reason I look at reviews is because it's social proof for other people, which leads to more sales. So, I mean, think about it. If you are going and you're looking for something on Amazon, I mean, I know the vast majority of people I know won't buy something if it doesn't have a review. But if they see 5 stars, they don't even care what it says. They're like, well, someone else liked this. I must like it too. The more of those 5 stars you get, the more people who are going to go, well, I have to trust this. This has 5 reviews. Or looking back at this one, I have to trust this. It's got 172 reviews. And they buy it. And it's that sale that drives the BSR down, which means you're making more sales.
Yep. So BSR or reviews don't directly affect BSR. Right. But it can help you get more sales. Also, Steve, BSR, the BSR changes really fast on books because there are, Amazon started as a book business. There are a lot of books up, and I'm not just saying, low content, just every single type of book up on Amazon. There is a lot. So it does change very quickly in books.
Very, very true. But yeah, guys, like using that plugin, I don't even know what page I had it open on. Apparently, one of these
asked us to drop that. We're gonna once we close the video, we'll give you that extension.
Yep, we'll give you some links. We'll make a post with some nice links for you. That was Marie. That was KDP Spy, part of BookBolt. We have a coupon code for you. We'll post up after this, and then there's also a special link you guys can use. So that is BookBolt KDP Spy once you sign in. And actually the other day, it might have been day 1 or day 2, a lot of people kept commenting, should we sign up for a BookBolt account? Should we sign up for a BookBolt account? No, we have this planned out. You get a free trial. You get a 3-day free trial with this. Okay. So we planned out our days so you could use it today for research. Tomorrow we are talking designing your cover, which you can also do inside of BookBolt. So we kind of planned out our days so you could utilize that 3-day trial. And then at the end of the 3 days, if you say, hey, this isn't for me, well, it's not for you, but you got to see different things you could do with it, not just research, not just cover designs. You kind of got to see the whole experience. And that's why we planned it out how we did. So after this live wraps up, we'll make a post with some special links and coupons and everything for everyone. Okay.
Perfect. Steve says he's got a product with reviews that sells daily that's got a typo in it. Been there. You're gonna get more bad reviews, man. Re-upload it.
Jacob, someone asked earlier, you touched on one book that had multiple covers with one interior, and the question was, so is that a bad thing to do? If you're trying to maximize up to your 50 under one author, if you take one interior and make 50 covers for that interior, is that a bad thing to do, was the question?
It depends. I mean, are you gonna do 50 of the same niche? Like, let's take notebooks, for example, right? Lined pages. You can't really change that up that much. Are you going to do 50 notebooks in the, student driver niche like we were talking about? Or are you going to do one for student drivers, one for, preschoolers that like dinosaurs, stuff like that? They got to be different.
So this was referring directly to one niche Same interior, different covers.
No. Well, I mean, if it's just a line notebook and you're doing things for kids, sure. But if it's a low content book like the driver's ed one, I would not create 50 covers with that same interior. Now, you might be able to go in there and crank out 50 things, which I probably wouldn't, because there's not enough competition that would make you need to, or enough sales that it would be worth it. But I would test a few different interiors. I'd much rather test, a few different interiors and layouts, see what people like more.
Because I really want to hit home on like what I was just going through and showing you, like those books for cursive handwriting for kids. Like, you don't have to crank out 50 books with the same interior. That one book was outselling probably most people that do low content books. One book, because they spent the time and the effort to make sure that one book was super high quality. Now, if they can crank out a lot of super high quality books, I mean, that's how you make a ton of money in this space. But I really want you guys to focus on the quality and not get hung up on, oh, I need to upload 50, I need to upload 100 with the same interior. Like, it's not about that.
No.
Find what people want to buy and give them a better product.
Yes. So do we have any questions? We've been live for an hour and 10 minutes. Didn't plan on going this long today, but it happens. I also didn't plan on Neil talking for an hour.
Pretty much the entire time.
That also does kind of happen when whoever shares the screen. That's kind of what happens because they have control of the screen. So,
any questions that we can help you guys with? Like, I'm sure we'll be going through more research stuff, but I mean, just to kind of wrap up the process, find out what people want, take a large niche, okay? Make sure people are looking for that niche. You can use KDP Spy, or you can look at the reviews. Basically, you want to see some search volume. That's what I'm looking for. And then start to niche down, get more specific. And then once you found something that's specific, that's selling, that you can make different and better, go out there and create some products. Neil's making up for yesterday. Yeah, Tim, I had somewhere I had to pee yesterday. But yes.
Let's also give Neil a shout out for how good BookBolt looks now.
We redesigned the everything. Literally this morning, we put it live, and I think it's a lot more cohesive.
Yes, it explains a lot better what's going on there. But no, once this live ends, I don't see any questions coming in. It's been our, 30-second delay. So once this replay's in, I will make a post with some links, some coupon codes, some good stuff for BookBolt. You can start your trial today if you would like. And then let's see here, the replay. There will be a link in the group for the replay. Okay, so I'll drop a link for the replay. And now, ready for homework? Yeah.
Do it.
Okay. So yesterday we talked about picking your niches. It's time for you to determine their value. Okay. After everything we just went through, determine their value. See if you should pursue any of those. Look at your search volume, look at the total results, understand the level of quality, the level of design, the level of interiors with them. And just kind of take a look there, okay? And say, is this something I can compete in? Is this something worth competing in? Is this something that I should really enter? Driving eds, maybe that would be one.
Driving eds?
Ads?
How many do you have to take? Huh?
Driver's ed.
Driver's ed.
Driving ed. There's a new niche for you guys. Apparently, Ed out there who wants a low content book.
Yes. So, I drive around a lot of eds, but no, driver's ed books, determine that value, kind of like we did today. There are things we would have walked away from today, things we would have entered today. So with that being said, watch the group for the post, and we will be back here live same time again tomorrow.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Any questions, drop them in the group.